Alright, so I'm always thinking about all the classes I'm doing, everything that I'm going through, all my workings and all the other bull crap. And I'll turn it off. It's a little loud. And I think that I get tired of a lot of stuff. Like I have a lot of things going up and I try to do way too much with my classes and teaching other people. And honestly, I could care less about teaching people anymore. Is becoming a point where I'm getting drained, and I really need to stop that. Like these people ain't never ever gonna be worth my time. So, uh, yeah, that's gonna be something that's really gonna extremely slow down. I think from outside of my organizations, and barely even then, because they're starting to get the bare minimum. Um, I won't really be focused on teaching. I won't be. I'll be focusing on not teaching as much as I used to, even within my organizations. My focus is going to definitely be on me and me only. I am done trying to work with people, trying to help people out, just trying to guide people because y'all too damn old to be doing what y'all be doing. So I thought about the focus of my channel, and yeah, it's still gonna be about. Let me get all this crap out the way. It's still. It's kind of dark in here. It's still going to be about um, books. That's my thing. I haven't read any books lately because I've been focused on everything else. So um, I'm actually working on going back through all the books that I do have because I have over 5,000 books. It's just ridiculous, but I'm going to go back through the books that I have on my Kindle, the books I have physically. I even have some audible adult occult books that I'm listening to, and I'm going to gather up the ones that I'm gonna do this year. I think I'm slowly decreasing the amount of books, the occult books I'm gonna end up doing reviews for, unless they really really call for it. Um, it's just a lot, and it's only a lot because I put it on myself. Nobody asked for it. I'm just been too nice when it comes to try to help and educate people, and I ain't got the time for it. Even if I was getting paid for it, I'm still not doing it because I don't want to waste my time. My time is for me. It's not for anybody else. And it didn't take the heart failure to put it back in me, but it just kind of ramped up what I was really, going through. So today, in this video, you're just gonna see me go through my spiritual book, write down because I'm even decreasing some of the classes I was doing last month, just to make it manageable for me to actually focus on 1 to 3 tasks of what I want to do. So I don't care if you like it or not. This is my channel. If you don't like it, go to another one. There's plenty of occult channels out there, and I'm doing what I'm going to do. So how I'm getting everything set up is I have monthly goals that I need to set up, and the first one is my big project. Second one, second one is I need to work on the magistry. I need to get that. I have officers I need to get set up. I have 2 new organizations I'm in. And then I need to focus on scheduling events, tasks, meetings, This one here is going to be my Oracle workings. Oracle workings for the month. Now, one thing I did forget to put up is the Oracle, the whole full Oracle set that I did at the end of December. And I have a picture of it, but it's not going to be good enough. So I'll probably, I don't know, I think, you know what, I don't even think I'm going to do a video on it because I'm going to end up doing each one individually. So if you're on my Instagram, then I'll put it up there and you'll see it. If not, you'll just have to wait. I'm not rushing for nobody. So for the beginning of 2026, this is my Oracle microcosm, which is the seascape. And I'm going to do a write-up for that one. Then, overview for the first quarter. Is Azen, which is miracles. And then the monthly is we have Ashera, Mother of the Gods, and then we have Blessed Day. So those two are going to work together. And then I have my tarot for the month. So this would be the monthly oracle. This is the monthly tarot. And stickers. And every month I just work on not so much as a question. I used to do a question and then just pull the tarot and oracles for them. But what I do is I now go off of the energy of the card. I go off the beginning. I know what my big project is for the year. So anything that comes through is going to be related to my big project. So I'm not really worried about that. So I don't have to sit there and be like, oh, we're going to do this, and, you know, let me focus on my question and stuff like that. So I just sit there, figure some things out, pull my cards, and just sit there and just figure it out. So the tarot of the month is the enslaved prisoner. Of course, of course. So these are the cards. So the beginning of 2026, this is how I do it, is this is going to be the first half of the year. At first I was going to do the quarter, but I have the first half and then I have the ending. So the first half of the year, of course, is the first 6 months. So this is kind of like an overarching view of what I can expect the first 6 months. Then this is the quarter. Within the first 6 months, this is what I need to focus on for those 3 months of the first half of the year. Now, in addition to that, this is the overarching theme of February. This is what I have to deal with in the month of February. So I'm going to take into account of how all this flows. And then this gets a little bit more detailed of how every day is going to be affected by my tarot card. So this is the overarching theme of the month. This is how it's actually going to turn out, how every day is going to have, every day is going to be related to this. So everything is going to be telling a story. And this is an interesting story, but it gives me time to sit there and be like, all right, this is how the day going. What I do is that I was going to do, because, there are 5 cards, but there's only 4 weeks. So I'm like, I could focus on one every week, which will actually be a little bit more because I could sit here and I could be like, okay, well, I'm focusing on this a week. But what I will do is I will write up probably maybe a few days before, because today is the 21st. So maybe like towards the end of the week, I can write up a little blurb about this, a blurb about all the other ones, and then as time go on, the first week go, I'll check in to see how every day relates to what this means. How every day I relate, how the next week does this come up. The third week, how does that happen? It all depends, but I know we'll be writing up a little blurb on all of them. So that stays right there. The days to remember in February, which is this one right here. I don't know why I got that done. Alrighty. And then I think I have everything. I think I literally have everything written down. But I know there's a full moon on the 1st. There's the new moon on the 17th. There's also a solar eclipse on the 17th. The sun enters Pisces on the 18th. And of course, we have a Mercury retrograde on the 26th. That's just in that one. I do have 2 spiritual calendars. February is actually going to be, so the full moon is in Leo. The new moon is in, so the new moon is in Aquarius, but then it also shifts to, is that Pisces? Or am I reading that wrong? I think I'm reading that wrong. Actually, I think do I always get that sign wrong? I think I always get that sign wrong. But I do think that it is, I know, is Aquarius. I think the other one. Nope, that's not Sagittarius. I always mess them up. If you don't, oh well, that's you. I do not care. Anything else in this book? No, because I probably should be paying attention to the first and the first quarter, or the quarter moons and everything, but I don't, and that's why I have this book to sit there and make sure I have more stuff going on than I do, because I always messed up. So dates, February, and then I need to do for the Magistry, I need to do the full moon meeting. I need to do a monthly check-in. And then I need to do monthly counseling. Get that stuff situated. here just so I can separate stuff. I try to keep all my thoughts into one area, but sometimes it just doesn't work that way. So that's why I'm trying not to have as many extra books that I normally would have. You know, just to keep me a little bit more on task than what I have been. I think I would have this. I think I would have had that closer. Whatever. So this right here is going to be my brain dump area. That's for more ideas. And these are book recommendations. I do come across books that people tell me about that I may want to pick up or just, you know, see how they are. And sometimes they get on my recommendations and I end up reading them. Or we have book club, and there are some books that we want to incorporate into the club. And of course, since I read faster than some of the other people, I know you can get through the book faster and be like, hey, yeah, we could put this on for now, or I could be like, yeah, nah, this is some garbage. We're not gonna sit there and do that. So I guess I'll just get that one later. So I do have to go deal with that. So for my classes, now for Stephanie, I was doing this for the Teach the Demonology class. I'm not doing that anymore. Witchcraft, I took out, if you know, I took out a couple of more. The meeting circle, I'm thinking it's between the meeting circle and the Midnight Society is a little bit more. I think I might just get rid of the meeting, but I have to go in and cancel that one. And then Midnight and Witchcraft, so I only have 3, which is Primordial, Midnight, and Witchcraft. Then of course I have my meditations, my rituals, my meetings, events, and divination. In meetings, I need to separate them into I need to separate them so I know exactly what is going on, because sometimes I have no clue what's going on and I need to be reminded. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell is everything supposed to be at, because I can't remember anymore. That you're gonna be here? I'm trying to figure out what the hell was here. I don't know, I think I had you here. I don't know what the hell was here. But as you can tell, I just got a lot of shit going on. You know, I am sitting there trying to make sure that my personal workings get done. You know, but at the same time, I'm also making sure that those, you know, the organizations that I'm in, I'm, you know, doing what needs to be done. But sometimes them motherfuckers don't deserve shit. Sometimes they really do. It seems like it's starting to be a detriment as opposed to me actually enjoying what's going on. But, you know, nothing is perfect. You know, you kind of don't expect anything to be perfect. You know, you just kind of want to make sure that you're doing the shit that you have to do. And that's what I try to do, is I try to make sure that I'm dedicating and giving my time to those that deserve it, you know, as opposed to me sitting there acting like I'm gonna knock the fuck out somebody because y'all just really getting on my damn nerves. And I just try not to do that. And it's a lot. When I mean it's a lot, it is a lot. I be chilling like, man, look, I'm about to knock the hell out of somebody. 18th and 26th. 18th and 26th. So again, this is the full moon. This is the new moon. And eclipse. Can I spell it right? Sun enters Pisces. That's what it is. I knew it was Pisces. So full moon in Leo. The new moon kind of depends on how it is because the new moon, it starts in Aquarius because the new moon is at 7. Well, the new moon comes up, but then it moves into Pisces a couple of hours later. So that's going to be an interesting thing. And the 26th is the Mercury retrograde. And I actually used to have actual stickers for each one. When it's in retrograde, when it's stationed, when it goes direct. And of course, I don't have it anymore because I am not in... Okay, so that's Uranus retrograde. So your Mercury retrograde starts the 25th, 26th. And this is going to be for March. Okay, yeah. So oops. I'm not going to bend over and pick that up. So now I have all these extra ones. But I think I'm still going to, I think I still have the colors. I think I still have enough colors for the ones that I'm going to use. So, oh, come on now. See, shit like this is what makes me be crashing out sometimes. I swear, I be wanting to crash out. So yeah, that one. So brown is now going to be regulated to Midnight Society. And the Witchcraft is still going to get green. Okay, so this stuff's going to change. So meditations are going to be Sedona. And then my rituals are going to be Venice. Then I have enough for this month. I'm not trying to do that many meetings in a month because I work, I have a life, and I just don't want to. So I'm going to use the green because I know I'm not going to use a lot of green. Events. I'm going to do events in blue. Even though I hate using these freaking dots. Events. And divination is going to be in purple. Alright, so meetings may actually end up overpowering. But if I give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't have, actually, yeah, well, I can still use that one because I think we're not even going to have that many. So, all my meetings are going to have that little green sticker, but it's also going to have a secondary color. And I'm not going to go in and set up. Actually, I think the only meeting I can set up really is the doll meeting. But I'm not going to. I'm going to wait until our next meeting, which is at the end of the month, to see how it's going to go. So, you know what I need to do? I'm going to get a different, next one I'm going to use different, I'm going to use different dots. This is new, so we're not going to have a lot of meetings. That one. And honestly, I think I have another meeting that I've been trying to get my ass together to go to. Because I've missed out on several meetings. And this is my fault. Like, I just think I'm always working, honestly. So it's kind of difficult when I work so. I normally work on the days that we would have the meetings. But, I just have to figure that out. I don't know, maybe I could double. This is painful to watch. I would, how do you do that? Fast forward, but I don't know how to, so it is what it is. I don't care. But, so now I have more categories, but most of them are going to be grouped together. So like meditations, rituals, and divination will be grouped together. And then you have rituals and events. But I am going back to how I had it here, which was personal development. Which are my personal classes that I'm taking. Teaching classes, I need to, because classes just don't make no sense. Because I'm taking classes, so teaching classes. So the classes that I'm teaching are right there. I said I want to do, what else do I have there? Meditations. Let's see. Don't want meditations, but I think I need to have meditations by itself because sometimes I do a lot of meditations. Then I do rituals and divinations. And then this one is meetings and events. There you go. So I still have my categories down, which is good. Have my categories, I could get my shit done. Then I can sit there and try to figure out exactly how I want to do these classes. Because I think, so yeah, I was going to do it on the first, just going to do the first 4 ones. So what my goal is for the channel is I want to, like I did say before, I still want to redo the book reviews because some of those books I've read, oh my goodness, when I was younger, when I was like in my 30s. Some of them I've read younger than that, and I probably never went back to them. But now that I'm 45, now that I've have a lot more wisdom, I can go back and look at some of those books a lot more objectively. I can actually sit there and figure out, like, yeah, this is a piece of shit, but why did I think it was a piece of shit? Or, maybe it just wasn't what I was looking for at that time. And honestly, that happens. There are some times where I'm just not going to sit there and be like, you know what, oh, I really want to listen to this. This is really good. Or, or I'm up here thinking like, you know what, this is just some garbage. And honestly, it really wasn't garbage. I just wasn't in that mind frame to learn about the lesson that it had. So it's definitely going to be good for me to, oh, darn it. It's definitely going to be good for me to go back and read some of those books again, because I think I can learn a lot more. And I've played around with doing like my own sort of book club of like just going through and just having like some discussions, because I could do it with one of my other, with another group I'm doing, but the books I read, I have a darker taste. I don't want to sit there and try to read those books and then somebody's like, oh, well, I can't get the book, or is there a way you can get, look, either buy the fucking book or don't. If you can't afford a book, I don't want to be bothered with you. I'm not going to try to find it for you cheaper. I'm not going to try to find it for you at all. I need you to do your own goddamn work. Or trying to find books that are, I'm about to say gender neutral. I'm trying to find books that are, that have neutrality, because some people may not want to read something that dark, or they may be opposed to blood magic or some other shit, and I don't want that. I want to read the books that I have. I want to read the actual manuals. I want to see what people have done in their notes, like how have they gone about doing that ritual, or have they tried it doing this way. Like, that is what I want. And a lot of people haven't read a lot of the books that I have read. And so when I have to participate in certain things, I don't, because I don't want to. It is not something that's on my radar. I'm not interested in a book, or it's just a philosophical book, and I don't want to read a philosophical book. I want to read a book that you actually work through. Not everybody's going to do that. So I have to sit there and be like, well, what is it that I want to do, But then again, it's like, do people have the time? Hell, do I have the time? And sometimes I think I do, but most of the time I don't, because I don't want to be bothered with anybody. I don't want to sit there and wait on them or depend on them to read or do their part, or even wanting to participate, because they may even be in the mind frame of, I want to do this work, and I just don't want to read it or do it with you. I'd rather do it by myself and only talk about it, when I want to, with people, probably like every, I don't know, 6 years or some crap. But, sometimes I can't say I don't regret anything. I don't regret any. Do I regret any organization I've been in? Let me rephrase that. I may have, if I could have a time machine, I probably would go back and be like, nah, bro, I should have never done this shit. But I can't say that I actually regret any of the people I've met or anything, because they've all taught me a very good lesson. It's been, let's see, December 31st was my, it was my, what year is this, 2026? So it has been my 19th, no, 18. Yeah, it was my 18th anniversary as a dedicated Satanist. So I've learned a lot. There are people who are no longer on this path that I knew of when I became active when I was 27 years old. I am now 45. I will be 46 this year, so it is definitely 19 years or some shit, I don't know. Yeah, because it was 2007, and it was at the end of 2007. So yeah, the whole, I don't want to do that, it's so big. So yeah, the whole 19 years. Well, last year was 18, this year will be 19. So you know, but it's just, I've learned so much. There's so many things I could write. You know, I mean, they've changed. I've changed. And that's what you want. You want to be in a place where you're no longer doing the exact same shit that you did when you first started upon the path. If you're doing the exact same thing that you've done before, you have not grown at all. And you may want to check yourself. You may want to sit there and be like, am I actually challenging myself? Am I trying to grow? Or am I just doing this just because I have something to do? You know, just because it's edgy to say, oh, I'm in the occult, or I'm the left-hand path, or I do this type of magic. Because for some people, it's edginess. That's all they really care about. It's how people see them, how they could get that shock. You know, like, I don't even tell people I'm a Satanist because I'm so fucking tired of the questions. Oh, not to mention, I don't know what that is. Man, shut up. You want to hear any of that shit. I refuse to believe that today, as a Christian, you don't know what Satan is. I refuse to believe because these people get on my goddamn nerves. You know, but even still, I always get dumb questions, even from people in the occult or the so-called people in the occult. Oh, you know, what you do? You worship trees or Pan or... Honestly, it makes my ass itch when I hear stupid shit like that because I just want to slap people, you know. But I just have to realize some people, like right now, this whole boom in spirituality, I think it's a crock. These people are not trying to be spiritual. It's not, well, kind of, it really kind of is a movement. It's the newest thing to do. The newest thing now is to all of a sudden not be on the Abrahamic path and to be spiritual or to be new age or to be a star seed or some other crap. That seems to be the new thing. And honestly, it's just so irking. It's just really, really irking. You know, but hey, what can you honestly do? You can't tell people that isn't right. You can't tell people that, hey, you know, that doesn't make any sense. Like, exactly what is it that you're trying to figure out to do in your life? You can't tell. I mean, you can, but is it really going to do anything if you're not giving them actual time to sit there and think? Because remember, most people don't want to think. They want somebody to tell them what it is that they need to do. You know, they have that, I need a daddy. You know, I need a mommy. I need to figure out who's going to tell me how to do this working. I don't want to sit there and focus on this because I'd actually like being a victim. I don't want nobody to see me at my weakest because then I can't play victim. I can't sit there and be like, hey, you know, I didn't get the loving that I needed when I was a kid. So I'm going to go ahead and have you be my makeshift parent. Or they mistake the deities for their parents. Like, you've known y'all come across some people who think that when we say like we're the daughter or the son of, we know what we mean, but other people take it literally. Like, you know who your spiritual parents are, but they take it just a little bit too far. You know, I've seen, and it's not always men, but it's men who still have no respect for women on the path. You know, and then you have women, it's not always women, but it's women who fall into that trap of being nothing but not even a sexual muse, but everything they talk about has to be about sex. That's their whole persona when it comes to the occult. Everything they do has to deal with some pussy glitter, nutting somewhere, gripping something. And after a while, it gets old. My God, does it get old. But hey, that's what people are. I mean, I know some people have been stuck in that world where sexuality is not something they talked about. So that's the first thing happens when they break out. They get a taste of it and they make it their whole personality. Even men. You even got men who swear they got that spiritual dick. Bruh, sit your ass down. So there are all types, all kinds. And you just have to watch. Damn it. Just have to watch who you're dealing with. You have to watch where your energy goes. You have to know that you are more than, not sexual energy, but you have to know that you're more than your body part. Sexual energy is very good energy, but you have to know how to utilize it. Just walking around saying that you could make somebody nut fast, does it really mean anything? It's like, can you look at somebody and make them give them an orgasm? I mean, if you can, then you good in that motherfucker, I can tell you that. But it's so much more to the occult life than sexual magic. That's normally why I have always been opposed to teaching sex magic. The first thing you want to learn is sex magic. I already know where your mind is, and I can care less. I don't want to teach you nothing. Matter of fact, I automatically dismiss you. Because why is that the first thing you want to learn? Shouldn't you want to learn about your shadow self? Are we not on a path of self-mastery? Are we not trying to figure out how to better ourselves using the tools we have at disposal? Using the magic of the world? Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? Nope, not for everybody. That's not what they're looking for. That's not what they want. And honestly, it's a little bad though. It feels like a little cheap. But hey, what is it that we can actually do? We really can't do anything. We just have to let people figure it out on their own. We try to get with organizations that aligned with our personal values. And I'm not gonna lie, it is difficult to find those organizations where you feel right. Like, what, this is where I want to be. These are the people that I feel safe with. It's kind of like being in the military. You have to have your band of brothers. You have to be with people who, if anything happens, they'll be there for you. But lately, it isn't like that. More and more people are thinking about what's good for them and only them, and how they can step over other people in order to get to where they need to go. We still have to look at the world we're in now. There's an anti-witchcraft task force. We're going back to that day and age that none of us ever thought we would ever see, because we're so far ahead of time. The world is changing, and it's not for the better. I mean, eventually it will be, because I do believe we're on that 2,500 year cycle. I believe it's 2,500. I don't know about the 250. I don't think that's enough time, because so much stuff has happened within the past 250 years. So I do think it is a 2,500 year cycle. And I feel that is where we're at right now. And just trying to get through it, man, we entering the end of it. And we is struggling. You understand me? We are struggling in this time, in this day and age. So who knows where will be another, like I'm gonna cut that, but who knows where we'll be in another 10 years from now. Will the world have been better? Would it have been a better place? Or would it have been like, nah, we just doing whatever? Like, can we actually trust people? Or are we gonna feel like we in the burning times again? Where somebody's yelling witch and giving you to the authorities? Like, we just live in a really jacked up world. And that cult really hasn't been any better. I need to schedule classes. I cannot spell. Schedule classes. Divination blurbs. Magistry scheduling. Meeting schedules. The doll handbook. I'm still working on the handbook. I gotta do my Baba Yaga creations. I need to write up outline of our path workings. I need to a meditation schedule. My meditation schedule has Santa Muerte, because that is the I spelled that wrong. That is the deity I'm working with this year. So you have that, and then Baba Blue IA, so work with him, and then you do more with Papa Legba. So those are the real big three on my meditation schedule. What else do I need to do? I think that was it. Oh no, I need to rethink my website. Rethink my website. I work on reactivating my spiritual store, because I did shut it down mainly because of my heart issue and getting everything situated. And then I had to redo it because I take my own teas. Now that I'm on medication, I have to be careful of the herbs I take, because they can interfere with the medicine I have. And then I'm taking a look at the medicine I have and how they could probably be used in a tea. So it's kind of like a balance. And yes, I still have testers, but I still practice a lot of stuff on my own. So I need to make sure that everything is safe for me. So I need to reactivate the store. I need to redo recipes. Just these two together. And I think that's it. I'll leave the rest just because I have something else. Brain dump is probably when I think about my classes and everything. And then book recommendations. I haven't had any new book recommendations lately. So I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of searching to get me some more books. Because I haven't brought any spiritual books. I haven't brought anything new because there hasn't been nothing out there. But yeah, I can't let that happen. So this will be here. But yeah, this is how I'm setting up for how I do my spiritual classes. Which, by the way, I've always done this for like the past 10-15 years of having a planner and setting it up. Only recently have I actually been showing it. Like I showed this on my channel before, I think a couple of years, few years before, and now I'm doing it again. But this is how I go about making sure everything's scheduled. I have stuff to make sure everything is color coded. And again, it has to be pretty. Why? Because I'm a girl. Of course I'm gonna be pretty. And then I could sit here and personal development, since I'm not taking, only have 3 classes. Yeah, since I'm only doing 3 classes, that means I have more time to really go in depth with the classes, because those 3 Those 3 channels have a lot of information, so that way I know exactly what's going through. And again, everything goes back to my big project. So that's why all this stuff is like this. Teaching classes, I know what I'm due for that. Meditations I'll be writing. Any rituals that are going on, divinations, like, focusing on not really drawing a card, but meditating on the cards that I already have. I try not to do too much because, as it is, these are a lot of Oracle tarot decks or a lot of Oracle and tarot cards. And to do more than that is going to be like, it's just going to be way too much. So these are the 5 sets that I'm working on this year. So these will be the ones I'll be in depth with this year. And I think I've showed you the cards that I'm dealing with this year. If not, I'll mention it later. And then any meetings or events. I have no meetings or events, at least for the first part of the quarter. The next quarter is when they're going to start back up. And this is that. It's nice and purty. It's all girly and pretty and all that celestial stuff. And yeah, that's it.